Welcome to The Hypnotist, brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues.
And as you make yourself comfortable, take a deep breath in, allowing you to just inhale that deep breath of fresh air, feeling that as you breathe in that fresh air, you're breathing in a feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you breathe out, just get a sense that you're breathing out any feelings of tension, stress, or anxiety. Breathing in a feeling of relaxation, so much so that you can just imagine as you breathe in that every single part of your body is slowly, bit by bit, breath by breath, feeling ever so slightly deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to imagine as you close your eyes that in front of you is just a table, perhaps a coffee table, and I want you to imagine in your hand you're holding a small metal spinning top, the kind of thing that children may play with. I want you to get a feeling of the weight of that spinning top, the texture as you feel it in your fingers. I want you to imagine spinning that top on the surface of that coffee table and just seeing the spinning top spin. You can hear the sound that the spinning top makes on the surface of that coffee table. And I want you to focus your eyes within your mind's eye on the look of that spinning top just spinning. You can hear it, you can see it, and you can see it spinning and spinning. And as it continues to spin, I want you to consider an idea about ideas. Continue to look at the spinning top spinning as you consider that an idea is like a seed, and that once that seed takes root, it can grow. And accept the idea that even the very smallest seed of an idea can grow. Breathing in that feeling of relaxation, and as you breathe out, just feeling more and more relaxed. Understanding that ideas can grow to define or destroy. That once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate. Perhaps when an idea that is fully formed, fully understood, really sticks right there somewhere in your subconscious mind, you just accept it as truth. And isn't it interesting that your unconscious is full of beliefs and ideas? But remember that they weren't always there. There was a time that those ideas, those beliefs just didn't exist, and yet now they do. And therefore it means that there was a point, somewhere in your life, where you believed something for the very first time, that you accepted an idea to be true. And that very point is the point of Inception. As you breathe in that feeling of relaxation and exhale any tension, any stress, just continue to look at the metal spinning top and notice that it continues to spin for longer than it should. For in reality, the spinning top would have already tumbled over by now. But isn't it interesting that you can continue to look at the spinning top and it continues to spin? And as the spinning top spins on the surface of that table, you can consider a riddle. You're waiting for a train that will take you far away. You know where you hope this train will take you, but you don't know for sure. But it doesn't matter. How can it not matter to you where the train will take you? And I want your analytical, logical part of your mind to consider this riddle like a problem that needs to be solved. Allow your conscious, logical mind to really focus on that riddle, to understand why it doesn't matter to where that train will take you. In the same way that your conscious, logical mind is motivated and influenced by logic and facts, your subconscious mind is motivated and influenced by emotion. And listen, if we're going to perform Inception, you need imagination. And as you use your imagination, I want you to ensure that when you imagine things within this hypnosis session, that you do it from a point of imagination rather than memory. And do your very best to always imagine new places. So let's start by imagining that you're in a large room with concrete pillars and brick walls, old-fashioned desks. I want you to imagine that this is a large area with natural light coming in through skylights and windows. And you're not sure particularly which city or town this large room with concrete pillars and brick walls is based, just that it's a place where people study, plan, consider ideas. I want you to notice that some of the chairs don't seem appropriate for things like desks. There are sun loungers and garden furniture. And I want you to imagine that next to these sun loungers on the desks are what looks like metal briefcases. As you open the metal briefcase, I want you to see inside that there is not papers or documents or pens. There is what looks like very advanced technology. Technology that has the ability to enable you to dream within a dream. And as you dream within a dream, each level deeper you go, there is the ability to have more time distortion and to accept that you are accessing deeper levels of your subconscious mind. I want you to take a seat on that sun lounger and just feel relaxed. And just imagine that someone nearby, with your consent and permission, is connecting you to that machine. It starts to beep and whir, and your eyes are open within this imagination and they start to close. And an idea just is planted in your unconscious mind that your imagination knows no limits. And then, suddenly, you appear to be sitting down in a Parisian cafe. There are people walking by, and maybe there is a tea or coffee on the table in front of you. And there is someone next to you explaining parts of how your subconscious mind works. That actually, that we, as the dreamer, create the world of the dream. That it's we that bring the subject into that dream, and we fill it from within our subconscious. The person next to you at that table explains that dreams feel real when we're in them, and it's only when we wake up that we realize all along that it was a dream. You look around this Parisian streets, and certainly it feels real now, as the person next to you explains that we only use a fraction of our brain's potential, and that's only when you're awake. But when you're asleep, your mind can do anything. Sometimes it feels like it's almost creating itself. Genuine inspiration. That somehow it's possible to create and perceive the very world that we experience simultaneously. This friendly stranger starts walking down the streets of Paris with you. And I want you to test out this idea that it's possible to create and perceive the world that you're experiencing now simultaneously. I want you to imagine that you're able to distort the streets, that you're able to make the streets almost go above you, looping over. So as you look up, you can see people walking on the streets, not defined or bound by gravity. I want you to see cars traveling on the roads vertically. None of it is possible, and yet it's all experienced. As you become aware of the power of your mind, an idea is planted. That just a single idea or a decision can change a life. And as you think back on your life, there are many references that come to mind that just a single idea, a single decision took your life in an entirely different direction. And given that just a single idea or decision can change a life, isn't it safe to say that a good idea can define not just you, but your life and your legacy? You consider that you never really remember the beginning of a dream. And the stranger asks if you remember how you got to be on these streets in Paris. And as you realize that you can't remember specifically how you got there, I want you to imagine that you're just walking onto a plane and you're turning left to enter the first-class carriage of a Boeing jet. You can tell from the surroundings this is a first-class, luxurious section of a plane. Imagine taking a seat in the comfortable chair, noticing how much space there is, how much comfort. You're offered a glass of water. And I want you to imagine, as you take a sip of that water, you immediately feel drowsy, relaxed, almost like you're sinking in to the very seats on that plane. As you start to get drowsy, almost like you're about to fall asleep, I want you to consider that, isn't it true that you deserve the very best in life? And as you think what that means, to deserve the very best in life, notice that you start to fall asleep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's almost like you've fallen asleep on that plane. And within that dream that you're having while on that plane, I want you to imagine that you're entering the reception of a luxury hotel. There are people walking around, and you can see that this is a luxurious, expensive hotel. And for some reason, a number pops into your head, and you're not sure why, but it's the number 528. You consider that this might be the number to a safe or a locker. But I want you to realize that perhaps this is a room within this luxury hotel that maybe you need to visit. I want you to imagine going into the lift, the elevator, and pressing the 5th floor. And as you do so, I want you to accept that as you move up levels in this hotel, that you're accessing different parts of your subconscious mind. The idea of being in a luxury hotel and what it means to be somewhere luxurious gives you an idea of what's really important. I want you to walk into the room 528, and I want you to discover an envelope on a bed. You open the envelope, And you get a feeling, a sense that whatever information is in this envelope is somehow important to you. You open the envelope, and in handwritten pen on that paper in the envelope, there is a phrase, and that phrase is, "Time is precious." The way we spend our time defines who we are. And as you consider that, I want you to think, up to this point in your life, if the way we spend our time defines who we are, then who are you currently based on how you spend your time? There is a large TV screen in this luxury hotel room, room number 528, and the remote control nearby switches this TV on, and you can see your past up to this point. And I want you to see how you've been spending your time and how you would evaluate, how you would define who you are if you saw yourself as someone else. Would you define yourself in a positive way, a neutral way? Or would you reflect that perhaps you don't like necessarily the definition attached to you if it would be entirely based on the way in which you spend your time currently? But an idea pops into your head. If the way we spend our time defines who we are, isn't it possible that we could choose who we really are by spending our time in different ways? That the remote control has a button that enables you to fast forward. And as it fast forwards, I want you to imagine that you can see the life that you haven't experienced yet. You can see the life based on who you want to be. I want you to see the next days, weeks, months. The way that you spend your time is now a reflection of who you want to be defined by. I want you to see yourself doing the very things, spending time with the people that matter most, doing the things that would define you in a way that would make you proud, make you grateful, make you excited. You notice that somewhere in this luxury hotel room, room number 528, there is another one of those shiny metal briefcases. It occurs to you that if you'd like to change the future version of you, perhaps you could plant a seed of an idea into your unconscious mind. Perhaps an idea that would influence who you really perceive you to be at your core, at your identity. And maybe if you change how you consider yourself really to be, that it would completely change your future, taking your life into exactly the direction that you'd want to take it. You connect yourself to this machine, lie on that comfortable bed in that luxury hotel room, and you can feel the sensation of the back of your head and your neck on that very comfortable pillow, as you can hear the machine in the briefcase starting to make beeps and whirs. You feel really relaxed and sleepy, and just imagine falling asleep on that bed. And now you're in a dream within a dream within a dream, that you're climbing a cliff in a cold environment. Snow is around. You climb the top of that cliff, and somewhere off in the distance is a concrete building, a complex. For some reason you're convinced it's called the South Tower. But in order to get there, you would have to ski through snow, poor visibility. In order to get to the complex, you would have to go through various challenges, face adversity. But the idea of going through challenges actually appeals to you. It's almost like challenges are what makes life interesting. And by overcoming challenges is what makes life meaningful. I want you to imagine skiing past terrains, obstacles, maybe even other people trying to prevent you from getting into that south tower. But you overcome the challenges. And I want you to get a feeling of what it feels like to have that meaningfulness within you. As you enter the South Tower, this concrete complex with glass windows, you climb inside, and yet again there is another one of these metal briefcases. There is noise going around outside, but you get a feeling that if you would just connect yourself to this machine in the briefcase, it would give you more time to make the changes required deep in your subconscious mind to enable you to accept just a single idea that, if it takes root, would make your life infinitely more meaningful, powerful, giving you the clarity that would enable you to have the levels of satisfaction and fulfillment that perhaps you've been craving for a long time. You connect yourself to the machine, and then suddenly you fall asleep. Fall into a deep sleep, feeling what it feels like to be fast asleep. And your imagination takes you somewhere very far away from the coldness of that snow onto a warmer climate. You find yourself in the shallow part of a sea, feeling the waves on your legs. As you turn around, you're on a beach, but it's a strange beach, almost like it's a shore of your own subconscious. And where the sea meets the sand, very close to the edge of the sea, are giant skyscrapers, crumbling buildings, things that are falling down, things that look old. As you look beyond those crumbling buildings, you can see even taller skyscrapers. This almost seems like it's such a deep part of your subconscious. Everything in here is of your own creation. Nothing is really real, just ideas that you've had at some point in your life. I want you to imagine walking down streets towards the more modern skyscrapers, away from the shores and the crumbling buildings, and you get a feeling that you're moving towards these impressive, modern, stylish skyscrapers. And as you walk towards them, I want you to get a feeling of truth, connected to an idea that the purpose of life is a life of purpose. That it doesn't make sense to live a meaningless life of just floating around and seeing what happens. But just by having an element of purpose, clarity as to what it is that you're meant to do, could actually create a whole different intensity, feeling, and take your life into a direction of your own choosing. As you allow this seed of an idea to just take root, be planted deep in the fertile soil of your own subconscious mind, consider what it would be like to live a life full of purpose, where you have clarity as to what your purpose is, and perhaps, at some level, by you living your purpose, the ripple effect of that is that you will positively impact other people. You start getting closer to one of these modern, stylish skyscrapers. I want you to imagine going in to the reception area. And this is very different from those crumbling buildings on the seashore. This is a modern, stylish building. And the person at the reception knows exactly where to point you in the direction of. I want you to imagine, again, going into the lift, the elevator, and pressing the button that signifies the boardroom. Now, I don't know if you'll be going up or even down, but I do know that before long, the elevator doors open and you find yourself walking into a room. a boardroom with a large, long boardroom table. You're at one end of the table, and at the other end of the table, I want you to imagine what you would look like as an old person at the very end of your life. Now, this is not a prophecy. Everything right now is just your imagination, entertaining ideas, thoughts. Nothing here is real. But I want you to imagine yourself as an old person filled with regret. As you look into their eyes, you can see that regret. And the thing they regret most is not living their true purpose, not doing what they could have done. A life lived where they simply did what they thought they were meant to do, playing roles perhaps that they had from the expectations of others, caught in a loop, following patterns, but not really, truly living their purpose. This old person, this old version of you, filled with regret, has also been spinning that metal spinning top. It's there in front of them. You can see it spin, and it's clear that this spinning top has been spinning a long time, giving you a clue that this is not real, just a dream within a dream within a dream, perhaps even within a dream. And as you see yourself at the end of your life, allow your unconscious to just take a leap of faith and consider perhaps what your true purpose really is. What were you meant to do? What are the clues from how you've lived your life so far? Imagine what it would be like at your age now to take a different direction, a useful direction, a direction of impact, something that fulfills you and has the ripple effect of positively influencing other people. And just imagine what your life would be like if you truly lived your purpose. You create an image in your mind of a time when you were a child just planting a seed. Maybe it was a sunflower seed, maybe a different type of plant. But remember that time when you just planted a seed in soil, watered it, allowed the sunlight to just be directed on that seed. And it wasn't long, was it? Until shoots just started coming from where that seed was planted. And over time, that small shoots got bigger and bigger. But it all came from the point of just planting that seed and nurturing that seed when it was planted. I want you to imagine now that you're leaving this boardroom, but you're taking the idea of what your true purpose really is, what it would be like to live a life of purpose. I want you to find yourself right there, back on that shore, realizing that it's just a dream within a dream, and then finding yourself back there in that tower, that south tower, surrounded by snowy scenery outside from the windows, seeing that you're connected to this device, and then realizing that this device means that you were dreaming within a dream within a dream, and that actually, perhaps there's a version of you still fast asleep in room 528. Accepting that time is precious, and that the way we spend our time defines who we are. You already know that overcoming challenges are what makes life interesting, and that overcoming these challenges is really truly what makes life meaningful. As you find yourself back there in room 528, a thought entertains your mind that perhaps this is also a dream within a dream, and that maybe you're still there, leaning back in that first-class carriage of that Boeing plane. I want you to imagine it almost feels like you're tipping backwards. And then suddenly there you are, finding yourself back there on that first-class carriage, hearing the speaker let you know that you're just about to touch down to whatever city is in close proximity to where you are in your real life. As you imagine leaving this airport, I want you to imagine being greeted by someone of great importance to you that takes you back to your home. I want you to feel that in one of your pockets when you're in your own home, you can feel the weight of that metal spinning top. I want you to get a feeling that now you've got the ability to deserve the very best in life. That you really truly want to spend your time in a way that defines who you really aspire to be. Not afraid to take on challenges, because it's really important to have an interesting life, but what's more important is a meaningful life. And a meaningful life is when you are living a life of purpose. And you have an idea of what your purpose is and how you can turn that idea into a reality. As you feel the weight of that spinning top, I want you to imagine that somewhere in your own home is a suitable table or surface, a flat surface, and just imagine spinning that top. You get a feeling that the future is going to be bright and optimistic and full of the very best things in life for you. You will create value for others by pursuing your own purpose, aligned with your values, filled with integrity. You're excited for the future. As you continue to look at that spinning top, you notice it starts to wobble, but doesn't fall. And then I want you to remember that you're actually sat or are lying wherever you are right now. And in a few moments' time, I'm going to count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken with a feeling of optimism, clarity, with a real sense that the future is exciting and positive. You will awaken with all resources activated and created to enable you to live your life to the very best level. And you will awaken with all parts in their suitable positions, fully alert and present at this point in time, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake.